Well, I don't know what happened, but the phone call was interrupted before. I was speaking about the exam, and I was telling you that I would like to begin checking the result of the listening exam. So I would like to begin with part number 1. Remember, that is that about people talking in 8 different situations. Let's begin with that. Let's begin with checking the listening exam part 1. Let's go there. Give me just a second. Good. Well, it says, you overhear a man talking about an experience he had at an airport. Well, according to Cambridge, the answer here in this listening is number 1 is letter C, a piece of luggage. So number 1, a piece of luggage. In number 2, you hear an advertisement on the radio. What's special about the fretlight guitar? Well, in number 2, according to Cambridge, the answer is letter B. It teaches you how to play. In number 3, you hear part of a radio program. What's the presenter talking about? In number 3 is letter A, food safety. Letter A. In number 4, you hear 2 people discussing a type of pollution. What do the speaker agree about? This is letter B, how they feel about this type of pollution. And now in number 5, you hear a conversation between a shop assistant and a customer about a compact disc. Well, in this case, Cambridge considers that letter B is the perfect choice. A mistake was made on the order form. 6, you overhear a conversation of a football game. What does the speaker say about his team? In this case, it's letter A. They are better than usual. In number 7, you overhear a schoolgirl talking to her friend. What does she think about her new teacher? This is letter C. He is interesting. 8, in a hotel, you overhear a conversation. Who's the woman? Well, letter B, a tourist. So I repeat. In number 1 is letter C. In number 2 is letter B. In number 3 is letter A. In number 4 is letter B. In number 5 is letter B. In number 6 is letter A. In number 7 is letter C. And finally, in number 9, in number 8 is letter B. There are 8 questions. You need 5 correct answers in order to pass this listening part 1. Let's go now to listening part number 2. Let's go there. And it is the swimming instructor. In number 9, in the space in blank, you had to write south of France. South of France. In number 10, 1970. In number 11, famous people. In number 12, children. In number 13, 50%. In number 14, underwater. In number 15, breathe. Be careful with the spelling of breathe. B-R-E-A-T-H-E. Breathe. In number 16, float. Float. In number 17, confident. And in number 18, 3 hours or 3 lessons. 2 possibilities here, 3 hours or 3 lessons. There are 6 questions. You needed 6 to pass. Let's go to part number 3. This is about a radio program called Morning Market. And there are 5 speakers. Well, let's see speaker number 1. Speaker number 1 refers to letter C, it's an unwanted prize. So 19, speaker 1, letter C. Question 20 is speaker number 2. And the answer is letter B. I made a mistake. Letter B. Question 21 is speaker 3. The answer is letter D. It takes up too much space. Letter D. Question 22 is speaker number 4, and the answer is letter F. I have health problems. F. Question 23 is speaker number 5, and the answer is letter E. I've got something better. E. So I repeat, speaker 1 is C, speaker 2 is B, speaker 3 is D, speaker 4 is letter F, and finally speaker 5 is letter E. There are 5 questions. You needed 3 to pass listening part 3. Now let's go to part number 4. In part number 4, which is about a man who makes models. Please, the microphone. A man who makes models for films and television. Well, that is the topic of this part 4. And then question 24, Matt got a job doing holiday relief work because he wanted, and the options A, B, C. The answer is in number 24, letter C. He wanted to work in television, letter C. In 25, what did Matt find interesting about the 60s? This is letter A, the fascination with the space travel. In 26, why were Matt's models used on the news? The answer is letter B, some equipment had been destroyed. In 27, Matt thinks he was successful at getting work in television because the answer in 27 is letter C, he was available at the right time. In 28, Matt worked on Bright Star as letter A, part of a team. Next page, question 29, Matt was invited on children's television too, where in 29 is letter C, help children make models themselves. Question 30, Matt remembers Heart of Darkness because, letter B, his work was recognized. I repeat, in 24, letter C, in 25, letter A, in 26, letter B, in 27, letter C, in 28, letter A, in 29, letter C, and finally in 30, letter B. There are 7. You needed 4 correct answers to pass this part. And now in total, the total of listening, 30 marks, 30. The passing mark, 18. You needed 18 minimum to pass the listening. Check it out. And now let's go to use of English. The first part of use of English is everyone's an artist. And you have from number 1 to number 12. In number 1, the correct letter is letter C. In number 1, the answer is gather. In number 2, the correct choice is letter B, enjoy. In number 3, the correct option is letter C, length. In number 4, letter B, once. In number 5, letter D, in exchange for. In number 6, the correct choice is letter B, section. In number 7, letter A, though. In number 8, letter B, invited. In number 9, letter A, set. And finally, in number 10, letter A, become. I repeat. In the use of English part 1, Number 1 is C, number 2 is B, number 3 is C, number 4 is B, number 5 is letter D, number 6 B, 7A, 8B, 9A, 10A. I'm sorry, 11D. Oh my God, 11 is letter D, which, and 12 is letter C. I forgot that. Number 12 is admire, letter C. Observe that there are 12 questions. The 60% of 12 is 7, so you needed 7 correct answers to pass Use of English Part 1. Check it out. Now let's go to Use of English Examination Part 2. The typical text with the spaces in blank, but no clues, no hints, nothing. It begins in number 13. In number 13, the word missing is because. Because. 13, because. This is probably because they blah, blah, blah. Because. In number 14, the word missing is more. More. Become more interested. In number 15, you need a preposition of. Have problems of a different kind of. In 16, you need to with double O, T-O-O, to. If they have too much food. Now in number 17, you have two possibilities, the verb be or the verb sound. The majority of the students wrote be. Be is correct in 17 because the sentence says, they say may not be clear. May not be clear. Sound may not sound clear, acceptable too. Let's go to 18. In 18, you have three possibilities. When, while, as. The three are correct. When is the perfect. Other problems can occur with food when films are being made. Now let's go to 19. We need a relative pronoun in 19, the relative pronoun which, during which a family was waiting to have a meal. Which. In 20, what? What? He completely forgot what his next words were. What? In 21, again. The scene had to be filmed again, again, and again. Now in 22, the particle if for conditionals. If. This wouldn't really have mattered if there had been another blah, blah, blah. Well, if or any synonym of if. We study many synonyms of if. We study whether, provided, etc. But if is the perfect. 23, first. At first, synonym of initially, at first. In 24, the word is by, preposition by, by. Was solved by putting a nail, etc. Observe, they are 12 again. 12 questions. You needed 7 to pass Use of English Part 2. Check it out. Now let's go to Use of English Part 3. Airports. This is the typical word formation. Remember, you have to use derivatives. Well, the derivative of frequent that accommodate to the context in 25 is frequently. So in 25, you needed an adverb, frequently. In 26, impressive. Impressive. To have impressive facilities nowadays, impressive. In 27, you needed comfortable. Comfortable. There are comfortable departure lounges. Comfortable. 27. 28, flight. Their flight takes off. Flight. F-L-I-G-H-T. F-L-I-G-H-T, flight. In 29, connections, in plural, connections, with double N. In 30, you needed increasingly because you needed an adverb in the context. Increasingly. Increasingly. In 31, improvement or the plural improvements, both acceptable. Improvement, improvements, 31. And now in 32, noisy, the adjective from noise, noun, noise, the adjective noisy. In 33, crowded, with ed. Some students wrote overcrowded. Okay, yes, why not? Crowded or overcrowded. And in 34, the word missing is unfortunately. Unfortunately. They are 10 questions. With 6 correct answers, you pass. Let's go to the final part of the examination, use of English, part 4, the most difficult according to the opinion of some students. Remember the characteristic of this part of your examination. They are 8 questions, but they give you 16, sorry. They give you 16 marks because every answer has a value of 2 marks, since it is very difficult. Let's see the answers. In 35, John, and now your answer, would like 1 mark, to know the other mark, because remember that Cambridge gives 2 marks for answers, but they divide your answers into 2 small sections. Every section has a value of 1 mark. If you have a little mistake in one of the parts, I'm sorry, but they give you just the other mark, not this one. Well, I repeat, in number 35, the answer is John would like to know more about astronomy. In 36, because of the parade, the police wouldn't, and now the answer, let us, 1 mark, park, the second mark. I repeat, let us park, let us park. And Cambridge device, let us, 1 mark, park, the second mark. Because of the parade, the police wouldn't let us park in the high street. Some students wrote, let us park our car. Yes, why not? Park our car, acceptable. 37, Susan wanting to know, and now the answer, if, 1 mark, I had seen, past perfect, I had seen the second mark. I repeat, Susan wanted to know if I had seen that film on television on Saturday. 38.
Jerry?
Yes.
Can you repeat the 34, please?
30?
No, 35, I think.
35. Yes, 35 is, John would like to know more about astronomy. Okay?
Okay.
Good.
Thank you.
You're welcome, friend. Now let's go to 38. Everybody, 38. I'm afraid that there is 1 mark, a hole in the other mark. There is 1 mark, a hole in the second mark. The complete answer is, I'm afraid that there is a hole in these jeans, Tanya told the shop assistant. Now, question 39. Let's go there, the other page. Dan never pays with S, 1 mark, pays attention, 1 mark, pays, please be careful with that, to the second mark. Let me repeat. Pays attention, 1 mark, to the second mark. The complete answer in 39 is Dan never pays attention. Well, you can write pays any attention, acceptable. Dan never pays much attention. Acceptable. Any or much is acceptable or are acceptable here. Dan never pays attention to my advice. Dan never pays much attention to my advice. Dan never pays any attention to my advice. Okay. 40. Can I borrow your bicycle? Sarah asked Frank, and you have to use lend. Frank asks Sarah if she, 1 mark, would lend him the second mark. If she would lend him her bicycle. Frank asked Sarah if she would lend him her bicycle. Cambridge accepts a different answer. Listen to this. Frank asked Sarah to lend him, acceptable too. Frank asked Sarah to lend him her bicycle, acceptable too. 41. Peter might have, 1 mark, forgotten, second mark. Might have forgotten. Peter might have forgotten that we changed the time of the meeting. 42. Every child, because every is singular, friend. So the singular of children is child. You say boys, blah, 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 every boy. Girls, blah, 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 every girl. And now it's singular because every obliges the singularity. So I repeat, every child, for child, 1 mark. Has fun, the second mark. Has, because now the subject is child, singular, present, S. Every child has fun at this summer camp. Well, difficult part. They are 16 marks. You needed 10, minimum 10 correct answers to pass use of English part 4. But if you observe your exam, you have the total marks for the use of English. They are 50. The total marks in only use of English are 50 marks, and you needed 30 to pass use of English. It is important to know because sometimes we fail the exam, but we pass one of the parts, and it is important to know. So you can be comfortable with listening, for example, and you have to practice more use of English or vice versa. But the total of the exam, total, the sum of listening plus use of English are 80. Yes, because the listening are 30 marks and the use of English are 50 marks. The total addition is 80. And to pass the complete exam, you needed a minimum of 48 marks. You needed 48 marks to pass. Fantastic. Some students pass the exam and they receive their diplomas. Well, thank you very much, friends, for your effort and your patience. Now let's go to classes, because today we are going to initiate unit number 13. Unit 13, my friends, on page number 140. Page 140. Let me show you the page. Give me just a second. Where is it here? 140. Here. This is the beginning of unit number 13. And if you observe the title, you immediately know exactly what the topic of this unit is. Unit 13 is about houses, flats, the vocabulary that we need when we speak about houses, when we speak about accommodation, when we speak about dwellings in general. How we say in English, adosados, semi-adosados, or chalets, or how I say, un piso en el tercer, un piso en el tercer piso. My God, it's funny. Well, things like that. The vocabulary, I mean. This is important, the vocabulary. Because one possible question in the oral exam, in the real exam with Cambridge, I mean, or in the written exam is about house, houses, flats, etc. So you need the vocabulary. I would like to begin with exercise number 1, page 140. It says, work in pairs. Impossible, you know. Match each of these types of plays to live with the photos. That is, you have pictures from 1 to 6, and you have to identify the name of that dwelling. For example, letter A is a villa. I can tell you that a villa is picture number 3. This is the typical concept of a villa, right? A villa. So you copy a villa number 3. Please continue with the rest, and when you can use your dictionaries and translator logically, and when you are ready, send me a message for me to check your answers. Well, Mike finished. And Jose finished. And Natalie. Very good, friends. Perfect. Well, you know that a villa is picture number 3. So if you have to speak in English and you see something similar to this picture, I don't know in Spanish, I think in Spanish is, how do you call that? Mansión, una mansión. How do you call that, Mike?
Yes. Mansión.
Mansión.
Even you can say villa.
Ah, villa. Yes. Yes. Una villa, una mansión. Yes. So if you want to say that in English, say villa, a villa. And let it be a chalet in the mountains. What picture number? For Jose is number 2. For Jose is number 2. And for Mike is number 2. And for Natalie, The same. Okay, good. Yes, yes. Number 2 is perfect. It's a lady in the mountains is picture number 2. You see, it's the typical cabin, like a rural house or something like that. Well, let us see a block of flats with several stories. What picture is this? For Jose is 1, for Mike is 1, and Natalie? Natalie? Number 1, yes, yes, number 1 is a block of flats with several stories. Stories is a synonym of floors. Now let it be a house in a village. Number 4 for Jose, 4 for Mike, and for Natalie's 4. Excellent. Yes. Picture 4 is the typical house in a village in Europe. Yes, exactly that. And letter E, a housing estate. Picture? Yes, picture 6 for Mike, 6 for Jose, and Natalie. And for Natalie, the same. Okay.
The same, sorry, my connection.
Okay. But I love Natalie. I love joking. So sorry for that. A mobile home. This is the most difficult. A mobile home. Number 5. Mike and Jose and Natalie, I think, is number 5 too. Yes, very good. Vocabulary, friends. Vocabulary. There are things that you knew. For example, a house in a village is not difficult. However, number 6 is house in state. In Spanish is, I was looking in the dictionary, is urbanización, something like that. A mobile home is confusing, you know. A mobile home is not very common in any place of the world. Don't think that this is very common in England. No, it's not very common. This is not what in Spain you call caravana. No, it's not. It's not that. A mobile phone house is not a caravana in Spanish. No. It is a house that has some wheels. So if you need, you can move it. But you need a big truck, a big lorry, because they are heavy, right? It's not that you can be moving the house constantly. No way. Okay, good. Well, now, friends, this is for everybody in class. This is for my dear friend Jose, my dear friend Mike, and Natalie. In exercise number 2, you have a lot of expressions. Observe: a quiet neighborhood, a good view, shops within walking distance, a garden, parking space, public parks or gardens, good public transport, a good local school. You see, these are conditions that some people like to have near their house. People love living with these conditions you have here. Other people don't care. I want to know you, specifically you, Jose, you, Mike, and you, Natalie. I want you to select 3 elements in the list that for you, particularly you, are very important. In the order of importance. What is the meaning of that? That number 1 is the most important in the group. That number 2 is the second in importance. And number 3 is the third in importance. In decreasing level. That is, only 3, you have to select 3 things that are essential for you. When you finish your list, because you have to read the list to me, not to write, you need to read it to me orally, 3 elements in the list that are essential for you in order of importance. Mike, finished? And Jose? And Natalie. Very good. Well, Mike, my friend, would you read the list, your list, the 3 aspects that are very important for you when in 2 or 3 years you get married and you are choosing your house? The 3 things, Mike. Could you read it?
Yes. Yes. In the first case, I put good public transport
Aha, very good.
because I don't want to buy a car, so I prefer to move on public transport.
Very good. So you won't pollute the
Yes, I don't want to pollute. Yes, but also because I don't have the car.
Okay, good. This is number 1.
Yes. In second, a good local school for my children, if I have children.
Yes, sure. You will be a good father, Mike.
Thank you. I will try. And also for my wife and my future son, a parking space, but not in my house, but in the neighborhood, in the nearer areas.
Very good, Mike. These are the 3 more important things for you. Well, the 3 more important in the list, no? Because maybe you have different ideas. Thank you very much.
For example, a good view, it would be cool, but
Yes,
it's not as important as others, I think.
exactly, Mike. That's because I was making my list, and I selected 3, but I feel that the others are important too. Like, for example, in my case, I love public parks and public gardens, to go there and sit and enjoy, the nature.
To walk, no?
To
With
walk
your
also, and to sit at the bench with a friend and have a nice conversation, surrounded by flowers, and that's for me is important. But you can select only 3. I understand. And what about you, Jose?
Well, in my case, the first option is to good public transport.
Aha, very good.
In the second I select public parks or gardens.
Yes, important.
And in number 3, I select shops within walking distance.
Very good. Very good. Yes, that's very good. Thank you, Jose. And now let's see Natalie.
In the first, I
Yes.
put a quiet neighborhood.
Very good. Very good. You don't like noise.
No so much.
Okay, good.
In second, a good local school.
You are
And the last one,
thinking of your kids.
yes.
Good. Very good, Natalie. Thank you. And number 3?
Shops within walking distance.
Aha, but that's dangerous, Natalie.
Why?
The temptation to shop.
But I don't have to pick the car to go shopping.
Shopping, yes. Very good. Thank you, kids. Thank you very much. Interesting. What is the importance of this? Maybe you think, principally Mike, because Mike is always thinking. Maybe Mike thinks, and what is the importance of this? Friends, because these are things that Cambridge loves asking you in the examination, principally in the oral exams. They ask you something like, what are the important elements that you are looking for when you are buying a house? And then you have to memorize these elements. Good public transport, teacher, is very important for me. In the case of Natalie, shops within a walking distance, because you don't have to think. It's already que las tiendas esté a una distancia que puedo ir caminando. In English is shops within walking distance. A good view from the balcony of my flat. Things like that, you know. What Cambridge is doing with this exercise is preparing you for the examination, so please be intelligent, select 3, and try to memorize it. And now let's go on. Vocabulary is the problem. I want you to watch some videos that I found on the internet, and I saw the videos and I thought, oh my God, this is very good for my students. So let's enjoy. Now you relax at home because you are going to watch videos. In these videos, they are going to provide you vocabulary that is, I don't know how to explain that maybe you never study in any other form or in the books. So prepare a piece of paper, prepare a pen or a pencil, and when you hear a new word that you didn't know before, write it down, take notes, because you are forming your vocabulary right now. Well, let's go to business. There is a video that I have found in the internet that says describe a home, something like that, and it was good for you. Describe a home, I think is the title. Yes, a house. See that? Interesting things they say. It's an old comedy on television, but they mention expressions that are important for you. Observe how they use apartment and sometimes they use flat. They are synonyms. The same problem with the stories and floors. The same thing. British people prefer saying stories, the plural, story, the singular, and British prefer saying flat. In America, they prefer saying apartment and they prefer saying floor. There is a difference also between British English and American English, when they speak about elevator. In America, we say elevator. There is an elevator in my building, but British says a lift. There is a lift, L-I-F-T, lift. There is a lift in my in my block of flats. Okay, but they understand, right? If you use one expression or the other, they completely understand. Let's see the other video that I found that can help you a lot. This is, maybe you notice with this film I'm going to show you, maybe you notice the British sense of humor. They have a particular sense of humor. The title is Confusing Things About British Homes. Prepare papers and pens and take notes. See that? I know that cheese picks may be a little bit fast for you, but that's why I send both videos to your WhatsApp group so you can watch it again as many times as you need. I repeat that you should write down notes about the vocabulary that is new for you and then look them up in your dictionaries or translators. This is the only way we have of being in contact with words, expressions that you never hear on television. Any question, Mike?
Yes, I see the last heading in the video, and she says plugs, no, and sockets, and I saw the translation, the meaning, and I saw it's enchufe, both in español.
Yes.
And I wanted to know the difference, the real difference.
Mike, I hear you, but not very well. Could you repeat the question?
Yes. I saw the two terms in the video, and I look for the translation, and they are plug, I don't know how to pronounce, and socket. And I saw the translation, and I saw enchufe. So
Yes.
I don't know if there is a difference between the two.
Well, yes, I understand now. Well, you know, socket is a noun. Plug can be noun or can be a verb, you know. Normally, socket is what you have on the wall, and normally plug is what you have in the electrical device. So you have to plug the electrical device in the socket.
Okay.
And that's why I say plug in, plug out, you know, because plug can be a verb also. Plug it, enchúfalo, conéctalo, plug it. That's it, Mike. Do you understand?
Plug is to use as a verb, no?
Normally, yes.
Okay.
That's why she said that you should plug it into the socket.
Okay. Perfect.
Very good, friends. You have the videos in your mobile phone, so you can watch it anytime, any place. But my advice is don't watch it for the pleasure of watching only, but try to write down words that she uses, like taps and, you know, but the one that Mike mentioned, the socket and the plug, etc. And then when you finish copying, go to the dictionary and try to. The dictionary sometimes is going to rectify your possible spelling mistakes, principally if you use the translator similar to Google Translator, for example. Sometimes you spell the word incorrectly and they rectify and say, did you mean? And they write the word correctly, etc. Well, vocabulary, friends. We have studied different types of houses. We are going to insist on that in future lessons. And now I want to see other words that they use when they are speaking about house. And maybe they can be confusing, maybe not. In reality, with previous classes, it has not been a real problem. Anyway, I want to show you the word that the book wants to work with. Page 142, vocabulary exercise. Have a look. Page 142. You have vocabulary, space, place, room, area, location, and square. See that? If you go to page 100 and what is the page? Let me see. What is the page? Page 199. Well, 99, nope. It is page 185, I think. You have the, what is the name? the definition of space, place, room, area, location, and square. I prepared for you a kind of PowerPoint to make it rapidly, because if you go to that page, you can get confused. So I prepare PowerPoint. Let me have a look. Sorry, a minute. It's here. Yes, here. Aha, page 185. Thank you very much, friend. Well, something happens here. Space is an empty area which is available to be used. That is, you can use it. You can put some things in that place because it is a space which is available for you. Space. And place is an area, a town, a building, etc., a suitable area, a suitable building, a suitable situation, or a suitable place. Occasion, sorry. Occasion. Clear? Really? No. This is the problem with definitions, that they are not clear. They are more confusing than the word itself. Room, the amount of space, because room in this context is not the living room or the dining room. No, not that concept. Room in this concept is more or less similar to space. The amount of space that someone or something needs. I want you to remember, friends, and pay attention, that in unit number 2 or unit number 1, I don't remember now because it was many months ago, at the beginning of history, we studied collocations with do and make, and one of the expressions was make room. Make room, meaning abran paso, abran espacio, denme espacio, make room. So room can be a synonym of space in some circumstances. Area is a particular part of a place, a piece of land, or a piece of country. Yes? Area. Location is formal, slightly formal, a place or position, but in a formal conversation. Square, an area of approximately square-shaped land in a city or a town, often including the buildings that surrounds it. Like in Spain, when we say La Plaza Mayor, that's a square. La Plaza de Santo Domingo, that's a square. The park, the parking area, and the buildings around is the square. In London, there is a famous square. Trafalgar Square is very famous in London. Well, good. We finished this. You see, not clear. It is not clear for the students, so it doesn't help. That's the reality. The definitions sometimes are not helpful. We need to practice to see the difference. That's why I want you to do, my friends, exercise number 2, exercise 2, page 142. Okay? When you finish, send me a message. Exercise 2, page 142. Well, Mike finished. And Natalie finished. And Jose too. Very good. Well, let's check this. We don't have enough area or space in our garden. Area or space? Opinion. Space for Jose, space for Mike, and for Natalie. And for Natalie, space. Very good, space. Number 2, I hope I'll have enough place or I'll have enough room. Place or room in number 2, opinions. Room for Mike. And for Mike is room, for Jose is room. And for Natalie, room. Excellent, room. Number 3, sorry I'm late. I just couldn't find a parking place or a parking space anywhere. Parking place, parking space. Opinions. Place for Mike. Place for Natalie. And space for Jose. Jose is correct. Parking space, parking space, parking space. Number 4, I'm enclosing a map which shows the location, or I'm enclosing a map which shows the place of my school. Location or place? Location for Mike, location for Natalie, and for Jose, location. Yes, location. 5, it's dangerous to go walking in a mountainous area or in a mountainous place. Area or place? Mountainous area or mountainous place? Place for Mike, area for Jose, and for Natalie. And for Natalie, area. Area is the answer. Yes, area. Mountainous area. 6, the animals in this zoo have a lot of area or have a lot of space to move around. Area or space in number 6. Space for Mike. Space for Natalie. And for Jose, space. Excellent. 7, the concert will take place in the main square or the concert will take place in the main place in front of the cathedral. Square for Mike. Square for Jose. And for Natalie. For Natalie. For Natalie. For Natalie.
A square too.
Yes. Thank you, Natalie. Thank you very much, man. 8, the area of forest or the space of forest where they are going to build a new shopping center is blah, blah, blah. Area or space? Opinions. Well, for Mike is the area of forest. For Jose, the area of forest. And for Natalie, the area of forest. Area is correct. Very good, friends. 9, there isn't enough place or there isn't enough space to build more houses. Place or space? In number 9, space for Natalie, for Jose, space, and for Mike, Mike, space. Yes. 10, it's fine for you to stay at our place as we've got loads of room or as we've got loads of place. Opinions? Well, place for Mike and for Jose and for Natalie. Room for Jose and for Natalie. Natalie. Room. Room is the word, no place, room. Because in Spanish, we've got loads of room means tenemos muchísimo espacio. Tenemos muchísimo espacio. We've got loads of room. Now, Exercise number 3, everybody concentrate on exercise 3. Work in pairs, you and you. Write area, place, room, or space in the gaps to form collocations. Again, collocations. Collocations are clichés, always together. For example, number 1, hiding, market, meeting, space in blank, place. In the space in blank, my friends, copy place. Hiding place in Spanish is escondite, the hiding place. Marketplace es el mercado. And meeting place es el punto de reunión. Meeting place. Some people say meeting point, acceptable too. But in today's vocabulary is meeting place. So these are collocations with place. You don't use space. You don't use area. You use place with these collocations. Hiding place, marketplace, meeting place. Number 2, floor, green, office, parking, personal, public, space. Space. In the blank, copy space. Right? Floor space, green space, office space, parking space, personal space, public space. In number 3, head, leg, standing, the blank is room. Room. Headroom es el espacio entre la cabeza y el techo de generalmente aviones o vehículos. Cuando decimos there isn't enough headroom, quiere decir que no hay espacio, que mi cabeza está rozando el techo. Headroom. Legroom, los aviones. El espacio entre las piernas y el respaldar del asiento anterior, que a veces se está rozando la rodilla y decimos there isn't enough leg room in this plane. Standing room is sala de estar in English. Not very common, you know. Normally we say living room, but British people, standing room. Y sobre todo esa sala de estar en recibidores de reuniones o cosas así que uno generalmente está de pie esperando. Eso es un standing room. Now, number 4, dining, penalty, picnic, play, reception area. These are collocations with area. Dining area es el área para comidas. Penalty area, fútbol, es el área de penaltis. Picnic area, esto es en los bosques y parques, una zona que se dedica a los picnics, ahí para cocer, yo no sé cómo, hornos. Entonces las condiciones son que no haya maleza alrededor para que no haya incendio. Eso le llaman un picnic area. Play area, una área para juegos. And reception area, well, it's obvious, it's similar to Spanish. And now, the exercise 4, you have to use these collocations in these exercises. Please observe exercise 4. Let me show you exercise 4 in this on the screen. Let's make it bigger and bigger and bigger again. Exercise 4. Complete these sentences by writing one of the collocations from exercise 3 in the gaps. You see, there are 6 sentences. When you finish, send me a message. Mike, finished? And Jose, finished? Okay, let's check this. Well, it says, teachers get angry when students leave their cars in their personal friends. Here it is, parking spaces. Parking spaces. Check it out. Number 2, if someone makes you feel uncomfortable by standing too close to you, we say that they have entered your personal space. Personal space in number 2. Check it out. In number 3, I love my school. It's surrounded by green space with lot of trees and lawns. Remember lawns? We studied that before. Césped. Green space in number 3. 4, I'm tall and the seats on the plane didn't have enough leg room. Green areas where in number 3. I love my school. It is surrounded by green areas with lot of trees. Yes, why not? Yes, Mike, acceptable. Yes. Yes. Well, now, I'm tall and the seat on the plane didn't have enough leg room. Leg room in 4. 5. There are a lot of stalls in the marketplace selling fresh fruit and vegetables. Marketplace in 5. In 6, when you go to the country, it's good to find a picnic area where you can sit and eat a sandwich. Picnic area. And now, I would like you to watch a video in which an Oxford teacher is going to teach you some aspects of the vocabulary we need when we speak about house. Let's see this video. A moment, give me a chance. The title of this video is Talking About Your House. Just a second. Talking about your house. Here. Your home, sorry. Well, friends, I have to stop here because of the time, right? But you have this video in your mobile phone because I sent it to you to your WhatsApp group, so you can watch it again as many times as you need in order to take down notes on the vocabulary. The homework for next class is the reading exercise 4, page 141. Page 141. Where is it? I'm totally lost. Ah, yes, here. This is the page. You know, my new home in Venice, 7033, exercise 4. Right? You read and you answer. That's the homework. I have to leave now because I have other classes. Bye-bye, Jose. Bye-bye, Mike. Thank you, friends. See you next week. Bye-bye.